So today we continue with our class Laws of Shabbos, today class number 45. And we start with Sefer Chafetz Chaim. We're on page 134, and the big topic, I think it's a new topic here. So it's Toela's 7 conditions. Okay, Toela's is for constructive purpose. So the subject are preconditions. The fact the situation falls under one of the previous listed categories does not necessarily mean that discussion is considered constructive speech. No less than 7 conditions must be met before critical statement about the individual may be said. So whatever you said is, so you think it's for a constructive purpose, but 7 conditions. Condition number 1. The first set of the condition deals with verification of the facts. It is absolutely forbidden to make any critical statement about a person on the basis of information obtained through the hearsay. Only through the first-hand information may one assume that a Jewish character or behavior is wanting. Okay. An exception would be that one seeks to protect someone from potential harm. Such as instant would permit one to pass the second-hand information. This will be discussed later. Okay, so let's try to understand. So first we said that it has to be first-hand information, right? Whatever we say, it's first-hand information. Meaning that you saw it yourself, right? So you didn't hear from somebody else. Or exception would be that you're trying to protect, that this guy is crook, this guy is this, the guy is that. I mean, it's not, but you heard. And you're trying to protect other people. So you can tell them, I don't know for sure. You verify the information. I'm just saying that's what I heard. Okay. So condition number 2, even if one has witnessed similarly unacceptable behavior, he must not hastily pass judgment on what has occurred. Okay, an incident taken out of the context can be terribly misleading, both as a reflection on the individual's character, as well of determining who is right in a dispute between the parties. Okay, so let's try to understand what is. So even though they say, even though you yourself heard what happened, it was like in front of you. So basically, many times you don't know what led to this situation, right? So don't hastily decide who is wrong and who is right. Circumstances must be carefully investigated before one can be sure that that he understands the situation correctly. Basically, you have to ask questions and see what's going on. You need to know for sure that you understand the situation correctly. Above all, before concluding that a person has in fact transgressed Jewish law, one must be knowledgeable in the relevant halachas. So basically, it looks to you that it looks to that person seeing something that is wrong, but on whatever he sees on the first surface, but actually there is no halacha involved. Right? So possible. All right. So we continue. With laws of Shabbos. So today we continue with new melacha, которую называем Untie. So we have last time we covered tying and tying of the knot. So now we're learning about untying of the knot. Okay, so let's see. Untying the knot material. Okay. If one of the untying of the knot is not one of the 39 avos melachas, the melacha applied to untying knots in pliable materials such as rope, thread, ribbon, soft plastic, and so on. So as we said, tying is only pliable materials. So here is only untying also for pliable materials. As explained in a previous chapter, One of the way knots were employed in the construction of the Mishkan was the adjusting the nets used to catch hilazon. Okay, I mean, I'm not sure how big this hilazon was, so probably very small creature. So of course, under the water, this net would move around. These nuts would move around, so they would readjust the nuts basically. Those same nuts sometimes had to be untied to adjust the nets differently. Okay. This is why untying is considered melacha. So tying and untying, two separate melachas. Let us examine the melacha of untying in details. Number one, criteria of the biblical prohibition. As explained earlier in this sefer, in regard to melacha of erasing, chapter 7, destructive activity are generally not forbidden biblically unless it is done for a constructive purpose. So I think it was just to remind us what was we were talking about the melacha of writing. So and we said that usually when we do something in a destructive fashion, it's never biblical. An example would be when you open up, let's say, food package, right? So if you open in destructive fashion, that you would have to throw out this packaging, there is no problem. It was distracting. But if you open this food package in order for you to have some useful intention, so this would be forbidden. The example would be like if you open a box of cookies or box of let's say this machine matzah, for example, right? So you're not allowed to open on top. So and if you cut on a side, for example, or if you cut on top. Okay, so let's wait for him to join. Okay, so he shares us. So and so example would be, so even if you take this box of matzah, right, the machine matzah, and you cut it on top, right, in order to open, so it would not be allowed. Why? Because you in essence created a new container. This matzah box, you can use it for other things, right, which is not allowed. So the proper way to open it, if it was sealed, of course. So you have to destroy that box. So it would be like cutting for this destroying, not for constructive purpose, right? That would be allowed. But if you do destroying, for example, you cut on top, and now you have a useful box, you can store other things in there. So it would be forbidden. So that's what they're saying here. Same as we say in erasing. Erasing was forbidden. Why it was forbidden? Because they would erase some letters, right, or numbers. They would put on these beams in the Mishkan. In order they would do mistake, write wrong number or wrong letter. They would erase it in order to put the correct number or letter. Okay, so it would be erasing for constructive purpose. So that's why it is biblical. So the question is untying for constructive purpose or not for constructive purpose? Okay, so let's see. So one more time from the beginning. As explained earlier in the sefer in regard to the melacha of erasing, destructive activities in general not forbidden biblically unless it is done for constructive purpose. Since untying is inherently a destructive act, so we had not now we're going to destroy this knot, right? As dismantling a knot, the biblical prohibition pertains only to untying specifically for constructive purpose. So biblically, it's only for constructive purpose. Okay. One such a purpose would be to retie the knot more effectively. So it's very interesting example. So you untie in order to tie more effectively. which was the purpose of the untying knots during the construction of the Mishkan. So as we were saying before, so they were making these nets to catch kilozon, so they were untying the knot to tie it back. So in a proper place, so it would be for sure for constructive purpose. Another constructive purpose of untying would be to release a string for some other beneficial use, or he needs the string to use. I'm not sure what he needs it for, but anyway. Continue. Untying the knot simply in order to remove the obstacle the obstacle it presents is prohibited rabbinically. Okay, so let's see part 2, types of knots subject to this prohibition. The milacha of untying is related to that of tying, of course. I mean, they all interrelate, of course. Hence, any knot that one is forbidden to tie under a biblical law, one is also forbidden to untie under biblical law. So basically, the formula is very simple. Whatever you cannot tie, you cannot untie. Any knot that does not, any knot that one is forbidden to tie by rabbinic decree, one is forbidden to untie by a rabbinic decree. So they run in parallel, whereas they're not allowed to tie, not allowed to untie. Any knot that one is permitted to tie, one is also permitted to untie. In the previous chapter, we described in details which knots fall into which category. The following summary will therefore suffice here. Okay, so we're going by summary. Okay, number 1, it is forbidden biblically to tie or unite any permanent knot. For example, a knot that is commonly intended to remain in place indefinitely. It's very interesting. So one more time. It is forbidden biblically to use or unite any permitted knot, permanent knot, any permanent knot, sorry. For example, knot that is commonly intended to remain in place indefinitely. So like we said, tzitzis, I mean, nobody have the intention to untie them. The intention is for them to stay in place as long as possible. Okay. Continue. Number 2. So wherever you don't have intention to untie, that's forbidden biblically. Number 2, it is forbidden rabbinically to tie or unite 2 professional knots, any professional knot. There is a tie double knot or tie single knot in a single strand of rope. So now we're talking about rabbinically. Rabbinically, it's even the way I understand, even if he wants to, he plans to untie, right? So what is it? Professional knot. Professional knot, we said double knot is professional knot, the knot that is not going to unravel by itself. It's first example. And second example, like this knot, single knot in the middle of the rope, as we were given this presentation, how to do that basically. So it's not, there is no way that it can be undone by itself. Next one, number 3. It is forbidden rabbinically to tie or untie a non-professional knot that is intended to remain in place for 24 hours or more. This includes the loose double knot, a single knot with a bow, and a single knot with the ends tucked in. Okay. So let's see. Let's read again and try to understand what it says. It is forbidden rabbinically to tie or untie non-professional knot that is intended to remain in place for 24 hours or more. So if it's more than 24 hours, so, as we said before, according to some opinions, it's already permanent. So if you're planning to go for more than 24 hours, it's rabbinically forbidden. So if person forgot and stuff like that, that's a different story. But to begin with, it's not allowed. This includes a loose double knot, a single knot, yes, a single knot with the ends tackling. Okay, so loose double knot, of course, it's not professional because it can be undone technically, right? That's fun. And the single knot with the ends tucked in. So basically, as we said, with the ends tucked in, so like when you circle this piece of rope or right around the tree. Let's say you tie with one knot and you take the ends and tuck it. So basically, there is no way that this ends would come undone. So technically, it's only one knot technically, but the ends like tucked in such a way that it's going to stay like permanent. That's why it's forbidden rabbinic. Number 4, in cases of necessity, it is permitted to tie a unique and non-professional knot that is intended to remain in place for less than 7 days. So, okay, so that's our leniency that we can use in case of the need, as they say, in case of necessity. It is permitted to tie a unique non-professional knot. So first of all, it's unique. I'm sorry. In case of say one is permitted to tie or untie. I apologize. A tie or untie a non-professional knot that intended to remain in place for less than 7 days. So in case of necessity, up to 7 days. What would be a good example? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe if they're using that shoe on Shabbos, this place, so they know that next time they're going to come here on Friday night, 7 days later. Maybe this is the example. Okay. So continue. Number 5, a single knot in 2 strands. Single knots in 2 strands, and a single or double bow without an underlying knot. Halachically not considered knots at all. It is permitted to tie or untie them, even if they intended to remain in place permanently. So let's see what's going on one more time. A single knot in 2 strands. So a single knot in 2 strands, meaning when we tie shoes, so that's the first knot. So as we just said, it's not considered to be a knot at all, or a single or double bow. So I mean, so on one hand it looks permanent, but if you pull by one string, it's going to get undone very easily. Okay. So this double bow, so it's without the first knot, so it's going to be like. I mean, it's easily undone, and as we said, it's not considered to be knot at all. Okay, continue. Additional rules. The following laws pertain specifically to untying and were not discussed in a preceding chapter. So as this chapter is only about untying. The following laws pertain specifically to untying that were not discussed in the preceding chapter. Okay, number 1. A knot that was tied inadvertently may be untied on Shabbos. With respect to the prohibition of untying a knot, is an intertwinement made for the purpose of the holding something together. A knot that was tied inadvertently is therefore halakhically not considered a knot at all. Okay, so let's try to understand. So they say so if you did not by mistake. So I would say, right? I would say so. Sometimes happens to me when I'm not careful and try to untie my shoelaces. So time I would make by mistake like double knot. Maybe I don't know how it's possible, but basically it is possible. So in this case, they would allow you to untie the second knot. There is no problem because that's it happened by itself. Okay. So in this case, it's not considered to be knot. Okay. Okay, continue. Thus is one inadvertently tied a double knot in his shoes and showers. Okay, exactly. Sorry. He's permitted to undo it. One second, let me drink some water. Sorry, I already said the bar. Finish. Okay, so continue. Thus, if one inadvertently tied double knot in his shoes and showers, he's permitted to undo it. Similarly, if during an attempt to undo permissible knot, there is a bow that became tangled and turned into forbidden knot, one is permitted to untangle it and undo the knot. So, I mean, it just tangled together, and now you were trying to undo this thing, and it became a knot, so there is no problem. You can undo the knot. Number two, it is permitted to cut open knotted rope. Sorry. Sorry. So it is permitted to open knotted rope, provided that one cuts in destructive fashion. See chapter 7 for extensive discussion of this one. So basically, for example, as so we said, I don't know, last time or time before that, we said if for example, you have a plastic bag with bread, right, and it was tied like with a knot, like on this one on a single strand, even though it's a single knot, but it's one of these forbidden knots. Rabbinically, but it is forbidden. So basically, as we said, you can cut off the knot. You can cut off the knot completely, right? Or like in the middle. Sorry. You can cut off like in the middle, okay? Or cut off the knot completely. Okay, so that's the solution. Okay, so number 3, a special dispensation untying certain types of knots. Okay, in some instances, it is permitted to untie certain types of rabbinically prohibited knots. Some instances prohibited. Okay, so let's see the type of the knots that may be opened dependent on the circumstances. So far, just to draw some conclusion. So far we said whatever is allowed to be tied, the knots that are allowed to be tied, you can untie. Whatever is not allowed to be tied, so you're not allowed to untie. So that was a basic thing, right? So now we say, so whether it was biblical or rabbinical, that doesn't matter. So now we say there are special cases, special exceptional cases, when you are allowed to untie something that was prohibited rabbinically to tie. Okay, so let's see. In some circumstances, it is permitted to untie certain types of rabbinically prohibited knots, a type of a knot that may be open dependent on circumstances. Okay, so let's see. Physical distress. In a case where one's inability to untie a knot causes considerable physical discomfort, it is permitted to open any rabbinically prohibited knot. Okay, so some kind of the physical discomfort. So let's see, what is it? Number 1, not permanent double knot. Non-permanent double knot. Okay, so they're going to give us examples. And number 2, a non-permanent single knot in the single strand of rope, like we were talking about in this bag with our bread or whatever is it in that bag. And number 3, a knot and a bow that were originally meant to remain intact for more than 24 hours. So in all of this, even though, as we said before, they're rabbinically forbidden, you would be allowed to untie them. To illustrate, a person's shoelaces are tied in double knot, and he wants to go asleep and will be greatly discomforted by the shoes. He may undo the knot in order to enable himself to remove the shoes. Okay, I'm not sure why he would originally do the double knot. Maybe the second knot would, I don't know. I'm not sure why would he would he have the double knot on his shoes. That's a different story. But basically, I mean, the idea is the same. He wants to go to sleep, so we allow him to untie the knot. Okay. The rabbinic, the rabbis provided the dispensation for their prohibition in this type of case to allow a person to alleviate his discomfort. Obviously, this dispensation does not extend to knots that are prohibited biblically, right? There is a permanent knot. So all permanent knots we cannot untie under any circumstances. Okay, biblically forbidden. Okay. Okay, so continue. B, the necessity of perform the mitzvah. It is permitted to undo any rabbinically prohibited knot, as listed above, when the existence of the knot precludes the performance of the mitzvah. For example, if the Sefer Torah has been removed from the ark, for the Torah reading, has been tied with a double knot, or with a knot and a bow that was left in place for more than 1 week, it is permitted to undo the knot to allow the Torah for the Torah reading. So that's, I think it's a good example. So, but as we said last time, so Baruch Hashem, we have Velcro today, or we have this belts with these metal hooks, right? So in this case, that with different clasps. So I mean, you don't need to tie it with a double knot. Okay, but in case of necessity, or if they're using the old way to tie the Sefer Torah, so it would be permitted. However, even when a knot stands in the way of one's performance of the mitzvah, one should not untie it if the difficulty can be circumvented by other means. For example, if the challah that is needed for Shabbos meal is in a bag whose top was tied in a rabbinically prohibited knot, one should not undo the knot, but should tear the bag open in destructive fashion. Okay. If there is a words and a picture printed on a bag, one should be careful not to tear them. That's a different story. Okay. So this is also a good example, I think. So, for example, this bag with challah was closed with this single knot, and we cannot untie it. So you have to destroy the bag, basically. So you cannot. There is no other way, or cut off the knot. One of the two. Okay. So next one, C, other cases of necessity. In other cases of necessity, for example, there's besides the cases of physical distress or a hindrance on the performance of the mitzvah, only specific types of rabbinically prohibited knots may be untied. So two exceptions, as we said, two types of exceptions. One type would be for the mitzvah need, one for physical distress. So now we go to like two different categories. Okay. And we say, okay, number one, a double knot that was originally meant to remain intact for less than 24 hours. So less than 24 hours, whatever is it? I don't know. So why would he do double knots less than 4 hours? I would say maybe these shoes for a child, let's say, right? And because they were keep untying, so he did double knot. He meant it to be temporary, like until they would get home. But the child slipped off the shoes, and this knot remained for more than 24 hours. So that's, I would say this is the good example. And second one, a knot in a board that was originally meant to remain intact less than 7 days. So, but it stayed for 7 days. So same, I guess that also with the shoes. So for example, this person has Shabbat shoes, and usually he untied, but this time he didn't look. He was tired, this and that, and he slipped off his shoes with a knot in a ball, basically. So next time he just noticed it next Shabbos that it was actually tied for the whole week. That's, I think, the example. Continue. The reason for distinguishing between this and others rabbinically prohibited knots is as follows. As explained in the previous chapter, page 199, okay, it is a matter of dispute whether there are two types of knots are forbidden at all, meaning these knots. That one is double knot originally meant to be untied under 24 hours, and the one that was originally planned to untie under 24 hours but stay for more than 7 days. Okay, that's two conditions, two situations. In case of necessity, it is permitted to rely upon the poskim who permit untying and untying this type of knots. Other rabbinically forbidden knots, whose prohibition is undisputed, may not be open even in the cases of necessity. So the only leniency in this untying of the knots is only these two categories, meaning that because they're disputed. This includes the double knot that was originally meant to last more than 24 hours, and knot that and a board that was originally meant to last longer than 7 days. So that's nobody's dispute that you cannot untie it. So one more time. This includes the double knot that was originally meant to last for more than 24 hours. So for sure it's permanent, more than 24 hours. That's what his intention was. And a knot and a bow that was originally meant to last longer than 7 days. Okay, that's the issue. More than the 7 days. Now, usually it is allowed, as we said, but in this case, it's not because it's like more than 7 days. It's a permanent. Okay. Any questions? You good, guys? Tell me.
Can I ask something?
Please. Yes.
It's not clear for me yet about the 7 days. Not.
Oh, okay. So 7 days. So usually, okay. So everybody agrees. So that the most preferable way to untie it until the end of the Shabbos. Okay, that's the most preferable. So other stages cut-off time is 24 hours. Okay, so most of the poskim say so under 24 hours, it's considered to be permanent, temporary knot. Okay, but there is some poskim that go even more lenient opinion. They say up to 7 days. Up to 7 days. So if it was tied less than 7 days, so basically you did not transgress. So is it proper? Like, but it should not be your intention. So if it's biblically like this example that we just gave, if it's double knot, more than 24 hours, it's already a problem. You understand?
You have to untie before the 7 days, or
yeah, I mean in case of the need, yes. So if forgot, so basically, if it was if it's less than 7 days, so he can untie it. Yes.
And if you pass the 7 days, then you incur in a violation.
Yeah. So if it's more than 7 days, you're not allowed to untie it.
Oh, all right.
And yeah, the person violated this melacha for sure. Yes.
Okay.
So since some rabbis say up to 7 days it's permitted, so up to 7 days, for example, Friday, I don't know, in the morning he remember and untie it, so it's less. Let's say it's less than 7 days. Let's say, right? So he did not violate Shabbos previous way. It's like retroactively, right? But if he did not remember, so he violated the Shabbos retroactively. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so continue. To illustrate, if a woman needs to wear a certain dress on Shabbos, and its belt was tied in a double knot, belt was tied in a double knot that had been intended to remain intact for less than 24 hours. Okay, so intact for more than 24 hours. Okay. She may undo the knot in order to be able to wear the dress. Okay, so she may do that in order to be able to wear the dress. Okay, so all right, so I think it's a good example. Yeah, any questions? Okay, the same rule applies if the belt was tied in a knot and a bow that was meant to remain intact for less than 7 days. However, this would not apply to a double knot tied for more than 24 hours, or a knot that and a bow that tied for more than 7 days. So one more time. So I mean that they give like same example. So double knot for more than 24 hours you cannot untie. Right, so because it's permanent, and or knot and the bow that more than 7 days you cannot untie. Okay. So continue. Asking Gentile to open a knot. In case of the great necessity, it is permitted to ask a Gentile to open a rabbinically prohibited knot. Okay, so that's also a solution. So next part, number 4, practical applications on laws of tying and untying. Please bear in mind that when studying these practical halacha applications, that it is forbidden to untie any knot that is forbidden to tie. So basically, he reminds us again the same rule that we're not allowed to untie whatever you're not allowed to tie. So that's a basic rule of some. Okay. So let's continue. A, tying loose threads. It is forbidden to make single knot. It is forbidden to make a single knot on a loose thread to prevent it from slipping out of the garment. So you have some kind of thread, and you try to make this single knot to prevent slip out of the garment. Okay, okay, continue. I told the truth. I'm not exactly envisioning like what is the situation. How the single knot is going to help? I'm not sure. He's tying to something else. I'm not sure. This is forbidden even if one's intention is to undo the knot in less than 24 hours. So the way I understand, so the tying loose threads, it's like he's tying the thread, it's not around the thread itself, right? So which is a single knot, as we said, it's forbidden rabbinically. So one more time, it is forbidden to make a single knot on a loose thread to prevent it from slipping out of the garment. I mean, it's not clear. I mean, I understand what it says here, but I'm not exactly envisioning how it looks like, or how this single knot is going to prevent it from slipping out. This is forbidden even one's intention to undo the knot in less than 24 hours. Okay. Next one, B, tzitzis. It is forbidden to tie or untie a knot at the end of the strand of tzitzis that prevents it from unraveling. Okay, that's I think it's clear. It is also forbidden to. Oh no. So okay, so I apologize. No, it's not so clear. So they say it's not. It's at the end of the strings itself. So whoever have this the video. So I would say here. So it's not allowed to tie it here. And I said so to prevent it from unraveling. That's the thing. Okay. Okay. So in this case, of course, it's a single knot, but it would be forbidden rabbinically. Okay, continue. See, tying shoelaces. According to most poskim, it is forbidden to tie shoelaces with a double knot. Okay. Moreover, it is forbidden to tie a shoe with a single knot and a bow if the knot will remain intact for more than 24 hours. For example, a person who sleeps the shoes off at night without undoing the knot. Okay. So here, examples with a practical application with shoelaces. So two knots are not allowed. Of course, we said cases of necessity for kids, it was like exception. And second example of what is forbidden when this person just slips off the shoe. So he would tie with a knot and a bow and then just slips off. Okay. So I mean that it's going to stay more than 24 hours. If the knot will be undone within the 24 hours, it is permitted to tie the knot and a bow. So one more time, if the knot will be undone within the 24 hours, it is permitted to tie a knot and a bow. Okay, so they say that, basically there is no problem. Meaning this regular shoelaces. Some poskim permit even the double knot if it will be undone within the 24 hours, and their opinion may be relied upon in the cases of necessity, as we said with children's shoelaces. So if he knows for sure that he's going to untie in these 24 hours. Okay. Next one, untying shoelaces. It is forbidden to untie laces that were tied in a double knot or a bow knot for more than 24 hours. So if it was tied like this for more than 24 hours, so it is not permitted except in the case of necessity or physical distress, meaning that the guy wants to take off the shoes, as explained above. However, if a person that that did not intend to bow knot to remain in place for 24 hours, he may untie it, even if it was ultimately left in place for more than 24 hours. So basically he forgot, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he didn't feel well and stuff like that, so he just slipped off, and that's what was not his intention. That's not what he usually does. So I think that's would be the explanation. Thus, if person slipped, he slipped his shoes off with the laces tied in a bow knot, right? So he slips his shoes off with laces tied in a bow knot, and then decided to wear the shoes on Shabbat. He's permitted to undo the knot, even if it had been tied for more than 24 hours. The reason is that it was presumably not his original intention to leave the knot in place for so long, since one usually unties shoes before taking them off. So, as you said before, it was not his intention, and he just did it by mistake or like. Okay. In case of necessity, this rule applies to double knots as well. So I mean the rule that was not his intention. So now we're up to E. Unless any questions, so we can stop. But otherwise, we continue. And we're not going to finish today, but do maybe a little more.
Does it count as benefiting off? Let's say I tie a tie on Shabbos, right? If I loosen the tie after Shabbos, right? Let's say I already did the malacha of tying a permanent knot, right? Because it was 24 hours. It was from Shabbos ended. We'll say it that way, okay? But let's say I want to use it on Shabbos, okay? On a weekday, I mean. If I loosen the tie and then tighten it again, does that count as if I benefited from it? Not untie it, like the person had it untied completely, and then he tied it into a knot, right? So now he was able to wear it, but I just loosened it so it would look good, and then I tightened it again.
Mm-hmm. So first of all, before we continue, we said maybe last time or the time before that there is no problem to tie knot tie on Shabbos. I mean, if it's a simple knot with which can be untied with one pull, like you pull the short side of it and it's untied, so there is no problem to tie it basically.
No, I agree with you, but I'm saying let's say it stayed tied.
So if you tie this I see. So you tied this tie on Shabbos and it stayed for more than 24 hours, correct? That's what you.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Then what? And then you loosen up a little. And then so no, this loosen up a little is not considered to be untying, if that's what your question is.
Yeah, but does it consider as if I'm benefiting from it being tied? Let's say I have to do, I have two choices right now, okay? I either have to untie the tie completely, right? Or then tie it again myself after Shabbos, okay?
Yes. So that's a problem. Before you continue, that's a proper way to do. Because you tied it originally on Shabbos, that's a proper way to do, to untie it even on Wednesday.
Well, why can't I say that I just have to wait the amount of time for the tie to be tied? Why can't I say that?
Could you repeat the question? Why can you say it what?
For example, with food, right? I just have to wait the amount of time it can be cooked. Why can't I just wait the amount of time it would take for the tie to be tied?
When on Wednesday? I didn't get on Wednesday.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
On Wednesday it is still permitted. On Wednesday it is still permitted. So as we said, there is a lenient opinion that we can rely on. So you have until 7 days to untie it.
Okay, let's say it's 8 days from now. 8 days from when I did the malacha.
Yeah.
So then I have either two choices. Tell me which one counts as if I'm benefiting from Shabbos. Let's say if it took me it takes 5 minutes to tie a tie, right?
Yes.
So can't I just wait for the tie to be tied? How the amount of time it would take, just like I have to wait for the amount of time it would take for the food to be cooked. Or instead, do I have to untie the tie?
It's been already more than 5 minutes. If you say that you are on day number 8, so you're talking about Sunday, let's say. So
exactly.
So you can you can use it. So you can use it.
So even though there was a malacha, I can use it on Shabbos pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
On Shabbos, no, we said.
I mean, even though it's a malacha, I can use it after Shabbos, 8 days.
I
8 days
think
after.
so. Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I think so. Okay. Any other questions, Israel?
I have one about the shoelaces. Is there any shoelaces that we have not to worry about tying or untying on Shabbos?
So I mean, with a regular way, when you make one knot and a bow on top, like a regular way. If you if you're planning to untie them during the 24 hours, there is no problem. So the problem with this is only when they stay tied for more than 7 days.
So you can tie the shoelaces. I use a method that you pull one cord and you untie it. So you can do and undo every time you need on Shabbos.
Yes. For
All
sure.
right.
Rabbi,
Sorry.
one more question. So let's say I have a watch, right? And when it's dark, the watch lights up. Okay.
Okay. So, but you don't do anything, right? You just walking around and it lights up when it's dark.
So this is my question. Let's say I'm inside of a house, right? And so there's no watch, there's no light, right? Because it wasn't that dark. I came back from shul. I had the meal, so on and so forth. But now it's dark. So now if I go outside, it's gonna light up. You understand? So can I wear it or no?
If you can wear so, but how is that lights up? Where did you get the energy from the sun? I mean, what kind of watch is it?
I don't know. There's some watches that I'm pretty sure it's like that, where if it's dark, they can glow up. I don't know.
Oh, the glow. Yeah. They covered with this special like chemical. So in this case, no, there's no problem. I mean, you don't do anything like specifically.
But you bring it outside. Or why can't I say just like when I turn on a light when I walk through it, right?
No. Turning on the light, you do something explicitly. Even if there is a sensor. Well, let's say you're walking past the neighbor's house, but there is a sensor. Once you cross this sidewalk, right? Once you are across from his house, the light is going to go on. So it's you cannot compare to the watch. You understand? So you didn't do anything explicit, and even if you're not going to be there, and even the watch is going to be like you forgot your watch on a porch, right? So when it's going to get darker, it's going to light up. So, but it's not because of you. You're not even there. But with that sensor, for sure, it's because of you.
Understood.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So I guess we can stop here. So any other questions?
I have
Yes.
other topic.
Yeah, go ahead. As the topic is good, go ahead.
Okay, this topic is about laundry. I heard from Rav Alon Anava about you can start it's not good, but you can theoretically allowed to start before Shabbos the program of the wash machine.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
And so timers are allowed on Shabbos.
Yes.
For example,
but this look for this wash machine, you really need a timer. So you let's say it's 20 minutes before Shabbat starts. Let's say, right? So you put in the washing machine, and the cycle takes 1 hour. 1 hour. So there is no problem. You started when it was permissible, right? And you don't do anything. It's continue. It's on your own. There is no problem, right? Right.
So maybe the concept of robots pre-programmed before Shabbos may be allowed, like
yes, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Instead of Shabbos Goy, it would be a Shabbos robot. Maybe that concept.
Now you're taking it too far. So I said that the timers are allowed. For example, if you need your light in your living room, for example, right, and you need it only from 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. Right? Let's say for your dinner. So if you have a timer there, so you can set up a timer. So it would go on or go off. and the time that you need, and that's it. That's timer allowed. With the washing machine, you did like before. You preset before. You did not do anything on Shabbos. The problem with the washing machine that sometimes, if it makes too much noise, right? So the people can hear, like for example, you live on the first floor, right? In an apartment building, and everybody's here like noise from when it's spinning, right? So they would say these guys were washing clothes on Shabbos. You understand? So I mean, so they would suspect you that you're doing something wrong. That's the issue. One prohibition. Second prohibition is that we're not allowed to make all of the noises on Shabbos. That's separate prohibition. So if other people can hear from outside that you make this noise, that's the problem. So, but if not, if this noise like is somewhere in a basement, very far from you, you don't even hear. So that's a different issue. I mean, meaning there is no problem.
And
so technically, there is no problem. Okay, go ahead.
See, I was asking this because some washing machines have relays that are electromechanical, so they close and open circuits on their own. I don't know if they are allowed.
But okay, but they do everything on their own. You're not involved, so there is no problem.
Okay. So I understand now that if the device do on their own, so then it's allowed, because it's for the I am worried about the lights, because in my case I let a light on before Shabbos, and I let it go after the end, before touching it. That's what we do. We just let the light on and turn off after the Shabbos is done. Right. That's what that's. And in this case, would be allowed, because sometimes this light is interfering me with sleeping cycle. I cannot. Exactly. How can I avoid this? Exactly. So there are a few ways to avoid it. So one way would be, I mean, it's easy to say in America, but where you live, it's maybe like it's not so easy. So basically, if you have a like table lamp, like small table lamp, that's enough for you to see where you're going and to change, to dress, to do whatever. So you can always cover it with something. Oh. So you can cover it with a blanket, whatever. I mean, if it's not going to get hot, you don't want to fire hazard, or like put some like barrier in front, so it's going to block it. Yes. They are low consumption, so there's not problem to cover. I didn't think of that. Yeah. So that's the issue. Or for example, if you add if you leave the lights in the hallway and you just close the door, and that's it. So you don't see the light. So basically, you can use behind the door. You open the door, it's light. You close the door, it does not bother you. That's it. That's what people do. All right. Thank you. I didn't think of that. No problem. Okay. No problem. That's it. Any other questions? Right. All right. So let's stop here then. So until tomorrow, B'ezrat Hashem. So we do 4 p.m. tomorrow again. Thank you. Take care. Have a nice day.
אני מברך את הרבנים, אני מברך את הרבנים, הרב ירון ראובן, הרב אפרים כחלון, ראשי ארגון בעזרת השם, שהלכו בפי עליון, שעלו מעלה, יהיה להם ברכה והצלחה, הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא בישועות ליבם, לטובה ולברכה. שבכל מה שיפנו, ישכילו ויצליחו. יזכו לעשות כאלה וכאלה. הודיעו תורה לאדירה, אמן ואמן.
בעזרת השם רשת בכל הארץ. הוא היהודי הזה, הוא היה מיליונר, סגר את כל הביזנס, אמר אני משקיע פה בעולמה של תורה.
איפה הוא גר?
בפלורידה.
פלורידה. איפה זה פלורידה? באמריקה.
במיימי. כן, ליד. אנחנו שם עכשיו הולכים להקים קהילה ספרדית.
חזק אותו בשמי.
קהילה ספרדית גדולה.
תעבירו מה שבירכתי אותו.
כן, קהילה ספרדית גדולה. אני